for giving me the opportunity to honor such a wonderful soul. I'm one of Kristen's brothers. My hope today is that in some way, through me, you'll get to experience her light the way that we did. She loved music, Fleetwood Mac among others. So many of us have played Gypsy on a solid loop over the last few days just to somehow feel more connected to her. I can't help but imagine her blonde hair, eyes closed, head swaying, and just listening. And of course, a smile on her face. You hear this a lot when someone passes, that don't be sad, she's in a better place. I'd like to give you permission if you need it. This is sad. It's a perfectly normal human emotion. It's okay to be sad. It's a tough emotion to deal with. But like all emotions, it will pass. There's no rush, but another emotion will take its place. Over and over, you're going to hear Kristen and happy. The two are synonymous. I looked at almost every picture on Facebook, and everyone has said the same thing. I can't find a picture where she's not smiling, except where her tongue is out and she's just being silly. The more people I talk to about her, the more that just gets reinforced. It's hard not to feel happy when you think about Kristen. Kristen was born on August 22nd, 1990. And it's the only time I ever remember being anything but happy with her. You see, my birthday is August 23rd. And as a self-involved 15-year-old, I thought she was stealing my birthday. It's so silly looking back at it. It took some time, but eventually I realized what a blessing that was. Not because she didn't like chocolate and that meant more for me, but Kristen just knew how to celebrate life. She made the party better. She had a carefree way about her, a happiness, a joy. She had a way of making you feel better about yourself. It's something that doesn't get said. We don't talk about it. But I think our family is a beautiful example of love and acceptance. I explained my family one time to someone, a friend of mine, on a long road trip. I painted this picture of what Christmas looked like for us. The chaos, the multiple houses, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. And his response was something like, "It's really awesome that you turned out so normal." I don't know how normal I am, but to me, it's my proof that God has a plan. I think every family has its differences. And some may look at ours and say it was broken in some way. If it was broken, Kristen was the glue. It's hard to explain. Something she really never talked about. Her and Cody would make the rounds at Thanksgiving to see the entire family, and this included 4 or 5 different stops. The day after, she'd make a full spread for her own little family to celebrate Thanksgiving. She was selfless. She had a way of making things feel normal for everybody. And looking back at that 15-year-old me who was angry and hurt about circumstances out of his control, I realize now that I was given a gift. God has a way of making me laugh at times, long after the fact. She was the right person to change my heart. I couldn't see it at the time, but thinking about it lately, I see it. If I showed her big brother teenage contempt, she'd be goofy, smile, march right through my guard, and I'd end up smiling or laughing and hating her for it. She just loved you. It's so funny now. It was like God saying to me, "Don't you smile, don't you smile." You know that thing we do with our kids. She'd show up Christmas Eve at my mom's house like she was showing up to her own house. Mom told me this week that Tracy would always come in really quietly, but Kristen would come bouncing in give everybody a hug, and ask how she could help. As I got older, you would see her come in with these cream cheese pinwheels that all the kids loved. The kids would actually take them out of the tin, disappear into their own rooms, eat them, so you really rarely had any left when the party was going. I described it last week in a recording I did as a particular way that she would let her light shine. From the way she greeted you, like you were the whole reason she was showing up, to the way that she talked to you and listened to you, like you were the only person in the room. And she was real. She had such an honest way of describing a situation and her insecurities. My wife Liz took pictures of her and Cody for their engagement in 2017, and her maternity pictures 2 years later. And the comments that I would hear at these sessions were just hilarious. You'd never know it by looking at the pictures. She's gorgeous. But Liz would say, "Kristen, I have to get the ring in the shot." And she would say, "Don't take a picture of my hands. I have man hands." Her maternity photos were in July, and anyone with a Martin gene knows exactly where this is going right now. Apparently, things were sweaty. Cody kept saying that he couldn't stand next to her because of the heat coming off of her. And Liz would say, "Well, with 2 buns in the oven, that takes a lot of heat." Being real and silly just came natural to her. When Wesley and Elliot were born, there were some scary moments, but she never lingered on it. She brightened for them. She was a beautiful mother. It would have been so easy to settle into that role and forget about everything and everyone else. But she just loved through it. Birthdays, kids' events, she was selfless. I am a father of 4, and I have 2 daughters. I've found that daughters have a way of changing their dads. They change their heart in a very beautiful way. And Kristen was no different to our dad. One of my favorite things about her is her relationship with him. 15 years separates her and I, and maybe he learned some things along the way, but who am I kidding? It always made me laugh how much she could get away with. It was sweet, though. I love the gift that she was to him. She had a way of talking to Dad that brought him joy, like they were old roommates. As a dad myself, we're not allowed to have favorites, but, it was great later on, because if you ever couldn't get through to Dad in some way or fashion, you would just get Kristen involved, and she would say, "Okay, I'll take care of this." Secret's out, Dad. She had your number. Reminiscing with her, about her with Dad, Dad told me she set up a dog veterinary visit a long time ago for Dad, or a little while ago anyway, for Dad and Tanner, and finished the conversation with, "I can be there for you, Dad." And Dad said to her, "You don't have to do that. I can take care of it. You've got the boys and everything." He showed up to the appointment, and she was sitting in the parking lot with the boys in tow. That was her. She just loved. Recently, she told him, "Everything is coming together in my life right now. I'm so happy." And as she would typically finish their conversations, "Daddy, I love you." Dad said that no matter what kind of day he was having, she would make the whole day better. She just loved. If there was one thing that she taught us all, she saw each day as it was and just went with it. She loved all the way through it. We could all use a little bit more of that. Cody, she loved you. Never doubt that. I don't even have to know you to be able to say that. I look at the pictures and it's in her eyes. The way that she looked at you, you were such a great team, and as much as you're going to miss her, she will be in your heart forever until you see her again. To all of you who can hear me right now, Wesley and Elliot will know their mother through you. The stories they tell, the pictures that you show them, the way that you love them. It's our job to reflect her light into them. She made this really easy for us. Just reflect the love that she had for you into them. Just love. You may feel fear with the idea of going on without Kristen. It's so hard to imagine life without her. But as Zach Williams said in his song, fear, he is a liar. There are so many examples over the past few days. The outpouring of love and support has been amazing. Just as she would have wanted us to know, we're not in this alone. It won't be easy. It hurts. But think of that smile, and I bet it gets a little bit easier. As I wrote this, I could hear her saying, "Aw, you got this." Think of that the next time you need strength. Know that God loves her. Know that God loves you. Know that Kristen was his love. Know that love conquers all. And Kristen, I can only imagine the greeting that God gave you. All those hallelujahs. The smile on his face when he gave you back his wings. You were one of his favorites. He just needed you back for bigger things. We miss you deeply. We will see you again. And we love you.